My terrific husband married his mistress. They sued me for custody of my infant son because I was not well. The judge asked my child, my tiny boy, do you know your mother makes sex movies?
And just like that, the 4-second moment on screen that once shook the world was now being used as evidence against her.
Basic Instinct has the most paused moment in movie history.
When we were shooting the scene, we shot a couple of takes, and the director said to me, we're seeing it, it's glowing white when you cross your legs. It's hitting, the light is hitting it too much, and we can see you have underwear. If you take them off, we won't see anything. It'll just be a shadow, but we will get that you don't have underwear. I said, okay. I took them off. We did the scene. The movie was done.
4 seconds of tension, silence, and a single crossed leg, and Sharon's life changed forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the program, Sharon Stone. People are saying that there's a lot of exciting sexually explicit material that did not make it into the final cut of the film. Is that true? And was it difficult to do that kind of work on a soundstage in front of, technicians?
Well, the crew is really lovely group of people.
Of course they were. I'd be lovely too if I was in on that.
Every interview, every appearance, it was all they wanted to talk about. That one scene in the explicit nature of the film.
Did you have any idea when you made that film just how much that role would define you?
That's stupid.
No. The work was shocking and the subject was sensationalistic, and the movie made $500 million.
So you feel you made the right decisions?
Yeah, but I can't say it's been easy to live with.
And out in public, fans swarmed her in waves.
You're a megastar. You're a big deal. You're just like a skyrocket.
Pretty weird.
Yeah. Any trouble adjusting to that?
Walking down the street, we'll go, Sharon Stone! I'd go, what?
People startled you, didn't they?
They scare me a little because they yell my name and then I don't know, do I know you? Mm-hmm. Should I know you? Did we go to school together? Are you my cousin? Yeah. Are you a killer?
Sharon tried to laugh it off, but one day when she got into her car, she realized just how serious things were getting.
And people climbed all over my car. And I didn't know what to do, and the light changed, and people were blowing their horns, and I thought, will I get arrested if they fall off and I hurt them? Like, what am I supposed to do? I didn't know what to do. I was so afraid, and I put the car in gear, and I started driving slowly, and I started falling off my car. And I was so terrified.
But back in her hotel room, it was even worse.
People had broken into my room to steal Sharon Stone's belongings. My toothbrush, my camera, my film, my underwear, everything was gone.
And on the night that should have been one of the biggest moments of her career, stepping onto one of the most coveted stages on TV, reality came crashing down.
I came to do Saturday Night Live, which I was so excited to do and scared, really scared. And I came out to do the monologue, and a bunch of people started storming the stage saying they were going to kill me. And so all these people were getting beat up and handcuffed right in front of me, and we went live. And I was doing this live monologue while they were handcuffing and beating up people at my feet. I was just terrified. I honestly blacked out for half of the show.
Sharon tried to block it all out, the pressure, the threat, but fear doesn't stay buried forever.
I was standing behind my couch, and somehow I ended up over the couch, and I'd hit the coffee table and I was on the floor.
Sharon woke up inside a hospital, blinding lights above, voices shouting all around. She was being frantically wheeled into emergency brain surgery. No one knew what was going on, and no one knew if she would be okay. During surgery, doctors made a chilling discovery. Sharon had been hemorrhaging for 9 days, blood pooling in her brain and down her spine. It was a miracle she'd even made it to the hospital alive. But the worst was yet to come.
I was in neurological ICU, and everyone in there is fighting for their lives. In fact, the patient directly across from me died while I was in there.
Sharon lay in the hospital for weeks, surrounded by chaos and uncertainty, frozen between life and whatever came after it.
I thought that I was dying for a long time. I was burned to the ground. Because I everything that I had been before, I thought, I'm not any of those things anymore. And then I had to learn to walk, hear, write, talk, remember, and everything all over again. As I was recovering, my husband divorced me, married his girlfriend, and they sued me for custody of my son. And I wasn't really, I would say, certainly in retrospect, I wasn't strong enough and healthy enough to be in court several times fighting for custody
I
of
knew
my
you
son.
during that period. That was a tough time.
It was a very difficult time.
This kind of abuse by the system, this kind of abuse that I was considered what kind of parent I was because I made that movie. And I lost custody. I lost custody of my child.
And they won a ton of child support because I had a prenuptial. So the money came through my kid. And of course I couldn't work. And so I had to remortgage my house. I was down to nothing. And I was down to I gotta pay the kids' school on my credit card.
The woman once worshipped for her power and beauty had been stripped of it all. This was a rock bottom most people never imagine, let alone survive.
It was like starting over. It's like being a phoenix. It was like a death, but it's not a bad thing. Every death is a rebirth. I cried and I accepted myself. It wasn't just a sad cry. It was just that shedding and accepting that I wasn't the thing I was before. Yeah. And it's important to say, this is how I am right now. And my philosophy is it's not how you fall, it's how you get up. And do you have the dignity and the courage and the integrity to get up and keep your moral compass together?
Sharon Stone is breaking her silence in a new memoir, exposing the private battles behind her public image, including the fight to regain custody of her son.
I was punished for changing the rules of how we see women. And I understand that by writing this book, I could be punished again. But this time, I'm not afraid. This is 30 plus years ago, and people are still like, let's talk about that. It's like, why? Guess what? You're done stigmatizing me.
We have every right to be powerful in whatever form of sexuality we choose to have. And no one is allowed to take that away from you. So I want to say thank you for choosing me to be Woman of the Year, because there was a time when all I was a joke. Each and every one of you is going to have a moment like mine, a moment that changes your life, and you're going to be held accountable for it. So the time to decide who you are is now. The time to decide what you do with the tender, important, beautiful, passionate, most important part of yourself. What are you going to do with it? I'll tell you what I did with mine. I respected it. It was hard won after I only did that.